Hello, my name is Carlos Moore. If you're hearing this now, this is my Plan B recording. I can't find somebody for my audience, or at least I couldn't find two people, so this is my backup plan. And I will be speaking by purpose, a specific purpose in this presentation is going to be to inform my audience of properly used toilet safety. The toilet preparation, placement, and disposal. Well, imagine the scenario that you're at a children's birthday party. You decide to go and have a slice of cake or some other snack. You leave the kids around playing games, and then there's a children. You go back to check on the kids, and you find out that one of the children has managed to breathe in one of those. The breathing's gotten stuck in their throats. And they can't get it out, you can't force it out because that would cause the balloon to inflate and won't get it out. But if they try to breathe in, they'll inflate it the other way and then continue to suffocate. Well, that'd be a nightmare scenario for me. I have a little niece. Well, she was little before I moved here, but I have a little niece. I can imagine that happened to me. Similar case where it has happened before. You can read up on that story from Fisher Price, where the pediatrics had repeated some of the statistics on the number of deaths. Those are children, or generally mess up his anyway, if you want to properly use balloons, it's important to consider the inflation. First off, it matters what you're trying to use the balloons for. If you're going to have balloons for decoration, it's good to have large balloons that are durable and stay in place for a long while. Whereas if you're going to have balloons for games, or if you're going to have them as a surprise, like fill a room with them as a prank, then it might be better to have smaller balloons or more easily breakable ones. The next thing that's important to consider, it's important to consider the rated size of the balloon. You can buy them from all sorts of sizes, from water balloon type tiny things all the way up to 3 foot large in diameter balloons. Naturally, some are better suited for other uses. You wouldn't want to use a 3 foot water balloon it's also free. Uh, and depending on what the rated size is, that will determine how much air you need to actually use when you inflate the balloon. For example, if you feel like that a body is very full, if you do that with a large balloon, that would be very costly if it breaks. It's more likely to break when you feel but if you were playing a game with children and you wanted them to break the balloons as part of the game, then it would be good to have a lot of smaller balloons and then have them very inflated. It's also important to consider the placement of the balloons. For example, if you're going to be decorating with helium balloons, it's better to have them in places that aren't going to be overheated, like this light fixture above you, that would overheat and cause it to burst. You wouldn't want to have your decoration place near anything sharp, like bushes or leaves, because they'll break them as well. I read an interesting article on Balloon Land about different types of these dangerous situations like that. When you do decide on how you're going to place it, if you're going to use it as a prize, it's a good idea to put the balloons in a bag, fully inflate it, and you store the bag somewhere, or to have them in a bag and then put them in the room while nobody's there, or you can wait for people to leave the room and inflate the balloons in the room. And if you're going to have balloons for a game, it's a good idea to have them already inflated so that you're not wasting time during the party or event, and have them stored in a plastic bag near the site of whatever the game is going to be. It's also important to consider disposal. For example, if you have any children or pets around, it's important to clean out your broken balloons immediately because pets are very likely to try to eat the scraps, and children might do the same thing as well, just trying to play around and have some fun. It's also worth considering right, it matters if you're outside or inside when you're going to decorate these types of balloons. If you dispose of them and you plan to release them up into the air, let's say they're helium balloons, it would be a good idea not to have things like springs or ribbons because the balloons themselves are very biodegradable. They degrade at the rate of a leaf. The balloon H2 covers that. But ribbons and springs take a lot longer to degrade, so it's not a good idea to tie those between releasing and using the air. Also, it's important to consider noise situations. For example, during quiet hours, it's not a good idea to just pop off balloons because then you might get in some legal trouble and have to pay a fine or get shouted about other people. So what you can do about that is if you hold the neck of the balloon, if it's not overflow, you can pinch off the neck towards the mouth and then use scissors to cut a small hole near the mouth and then slowly let out the air so the balloon does not burst. That's a way you can avoid all the extra noise, but it's not 100% reliable. So if you have a lot of balloons to get rid of, it might be better to wait until a different time. But in all, it's a good idea if you want incredibly used balloons, you should consider the inflation, what they're going to be used for, where you're going to place them. Like if you're decorating, you place them differently than if you're trying to surprise somebody or if you're trying to have games for children on hand readily. And it's also important to consider the disposal. For example, you don't want to have your niece's pet choking on a little bit of scrap that was left over from a party that you didn't bother to clean up after. You were just trying to get some hot dogs away. It's also important you don't want to litter or cause any kind of waste harm to animals, and you don't want to just be having a lot of noise and get in trouble with the other person. And that's about all I can say.